Welcome to Romantasy Chaos HQ, the podcast. We are Avery and Xavier Harleston, healthcare professionals by day, romantasy theorists, and aspiring authors by night. Hang tight because we have 360 seconds to introduce you to season 1 of this podcast. And go.
This season, we are decoding the epigraphs from Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This isn't a plot recap or a chapter-by-chapter analysis. We're trying something new for people who are looking for a community that takes romantasy seriously.
This is your warning. There are spoilers for the entire Empyrean series. If you haven't read all 3 books, it may be time to turn back. We're adults who use adult language to discuss adult topics, so this podcast is not for young listeners. But what does it all mean? We examine each epigraph in the context of the overall series, decoding the hidden meaning, foreshadowing, and deeper themes that make this such a thrilling reading experience.
Here's some of what you can expect.
Fourth Wing, probably this entire series, is about what happens when you change history, when a lie becomes the truth that everyone accepts, but it is still, in fact, a lie. So it's not surprising that that entire premise is summed up right here in the first 2 sentences of this book, because that is setting the tone for us for the entire series.
Rebecca Yarros said that she started writing Fourth Wing because of how angry she was about erasing slavery from textbooks and history. What if Venin were originally oppressed and the Great War was a uprising from an oppressed people that lost?
Are all blues as snarky as Sigil?
Probably not, but if they were, I'd like a whole series from just that.
Right.
Snarky Blues. That sounds like a great
And
time.
Violet sits there and recites passages from, the field guide to Dragonkind, and Taryn's like, you don't know anything.
I don't think they fell off.
You don't think they fall off?
I think the dragons bond, they get inside their mind, and they go, oh, holy cow, you might turn, and then they ditch them.
Why would Melgren require the children to be at their parents' execution, do you think?
Because Melgren is a rebellion asset.
Brennan is keeping secrets, but here's the thing. Violet's keeping massive secrets from her siblings. Brennan is keeping secrets. It doesn't mean that he's not trustworthy.
We start the book off with this understanding that if your dragon dies, you die. And we go through a whole book thinking that's true, and fucking Jack Barlow lives. Because he drew.
Everything that Bezgaeth does reinforces the concept of hierarchy, because that's part of doing what we know that they're doing, which is indoctrinating the cadets and getting them to fall in line so that they continue to keep this big secret. If you are bonded to the biggest, bigger than Taryn, older, he's the elder, he's older than Taryn, presumably far more powerful than any other dragon on the continent. Taryn even admits this. And you're telling me that the signet you manifest when you're 20 years old does not grow, change, develop, expand? You don't get a second signet? No. Colonel Daxton, do we agree that this is likely Asher's parent or grandparent, possibly his mom?
Yes, we do. And also that she's a liar, pants on fire.
Obviously.
Now I want the companion book. What to expect when you're expecting your signet.
Rebecca Yarros has talked about how it's addiction, turning Venin like that first taste of drawing from the earth. It's kind of like an addiction. Like once you have it, you want more, you want more, you want more. But what did Brennan just describe? Is that not exactly the same way people describe
heroin?
Okay, so are you telling me that at some point when Brennan was alive, there was discussion about Violet not entering the scribe quadrant, and Brennan was tasking Mira with making sure Violet entered the scribe quadrant because it was up for debate?
What if Andarna bonds Aiden? Andarna is already capable of forging bonds where only 2 bonds where only one should exist. Why couldn't she bond 2 writers? Because even Kaori asks why dragons don't do that to begin with.
Okay.
And we've agreed it's because 20-year-old human beings are freaking annoying.
The Navarian Guide to Hidden Signets and How to Test for Them.
If Mira did all of this while she was still a cadet, damn.
And got no scars.
And interesting that our previous epigraph referred to them as separatists, but this epigraph refers to the relic as a rebellion relic. The quote that we get here doesn't actually make clear that the monsters that dwelled in the night and dined on the souls of children who wandered too close to the woods would be the wyvern or the venom. It doesn't actually make clear who those monsters are. It is an assumption that we as readers jump to, but with everything that we can say about Rebecca Yarros and her writing style in the series, I think jumping to that conclusion is not necessarily benefiting us.
This is why looking at the epigraphs is so important to understand, at least to me, to understand where the series is trying to point us to think about, because it is really, really easy to look at this epigraph and go, oh, that poison's going to kill Violet, not here is the history in which that epigraph has meaning.
And that is our time.
So join us for fan theories, literary analysis, and decoding all of the secret messages that Rebecca Yarros has left us. We do it all in 360 seconds with new episodes dropping twice a week.
If you would like a listener guide to help you navigate to the characters, themes, and theories that are most interesting to you, be sure to check out our website, romantasychaoshq.com, or find us on Instagram at axharleston. That's at AXHARLESTON. Be sure to let us know what you're most excited about for season 1. And remember, we love you. Stay out of the clouds, off the ice, and come back to us. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.